Hey, today in Daniel chapter 1, as we look at sovereign God and we see, we started off this week, we saw that God uses godless people for his purpose. Then we saw that these four young men, they're able to stand for righteousness in the midst of all this bad stuff. Today, what I want you to see in verses 8 through 15, that God blesses our obedience, and we can use that for God's glory. Daniel, it says, verse 8, resolved that he would not defile himself with the king's food, or with the wine that he drank. Therefore, he asked the chief of the eunuchs to allow him not to defile himself. And listen, God gave Daniel favor and compassion in the sight of the chief of the eunuchs. And the chief of the eunuchs said to Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who assigned your food and your drink. Why should he see that you are in worse condition than the youths that are your own age? So you would endanger my head with the king. And Daniel said to the steward, whom the chief of the eunuchs had assigned over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, test your servants for 10 days. Let us be given only vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then let our appearance and the appearance of the youths who eat the king's food be observed to you, and deal with your servants according to what you see. So he listened to them in this matter, tested them for 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, it was seen that they were in better appearance and fatter in flesh than the youths who ate the king's food. And so here's what I want you to see. God blessed these young men. He gave them better physical appearance than the people who ate and indulged in all of the king's stuff. And the battle here, right? Listen, again, the book is about God. It's not about Daniel. It's not about me. It's not about you. In this passage, what we see is here's these guys who they said, you know what? No one's going to see what happens, but we're going to know. And maybe the chief of the eunuchs, the people who are around him are going to know, but it's not out in public. They said, we are going to do something that's going to bring God glory. We're going to push away from this other stuff the king has given us. They can have it. They can do it that way, but we're going to do what we feel is right to do before God. And then at the end of 10 days, who's better? The people who eat all they want, or Daniel and his friends? And so Daniel and his friends, they're like, oh, they're in better shape, and God has blessed them. And so God wins the battle of this thing. Question, just to think about, how do you see that God blesses us when we are faithful to his laws and his ways instead of doing what the world says? How does God get the glory in your life in those things?